Why hasn't Conan O'Brien been replaced even in 2025? He is the Conan O'Brien of The Tonight Show, someone who always knows how to turn a joke into unexpected situations, flipping the audience's expectations in ways that make them laugh out of sheer surprise. So what exactly makes a great talk show host? Conan hits the sweet spot. Not too harsh, not too soft, somewhere in the middle, with an incredible ability to connect with almost anyone. Let's discuss it. Conan Christopher O'Brien, born on April 18, 1963 in Brookline, Massachusetts, grew up in an accomplished family. His father, Dr. Thomas Francis O'Brien, was a renowned physician and Harvard Medical School professor specializing in epidemiology, while his mother, Ruth O'Brien, broke barriers as an attorney and partner at Boston's prestigious Ropes and Gray firm. Conan was one of 6 siblings, growing up in a household brimming with intellect and ambition. At Brookline High School, Conan showed early signs of his wit and creativity. He became the managing editor of the school newspaper, The Sagamore, and even snagged a National Council of Teachers of English Award for his short story, To Bury the Living. Adding to his already impressive resume, he interned for notable congressmen Robert Drinan and Barney Frank, gaining a front-row seat to the political stage. Graduating as valedictorian in 1981, Conan took his talents to Harvard University. While at Harvard, Conan's knack for humor truly blossomed. He joined the legendary Harvard Lampoon Humor magazine, not only contributing as a writer, but serving as its president during his sophomore and junior years. He also dabbled in music, briefly playing drums for a band hilariously named The Bad Clams. After graduating from Harvard, Conan O'Brien set his sights on Los Angeles, where he joined the writing staff of HBO's sketch comedy series Not Necessarily the News. For 2 seasons, he honed his craft, diving into the world of comedy writing while simultaneously sharpening his improvisation skills through classes with Cynthia Seghetti and the legendary Groundlings troupe. These experiences laid the foundation for what would become a remarkable career in entertainment. Conan's next gig was on the short-lived The Wilton North Report, but it was his move to Saturday Night Live in January 1988 that marked a turning point. Handpicked by executive producer Lorne Michaels, Conan spent 3 years writing some of SNL's most memorable sketches, including Mr. Short-Term Memory and The Girl Watchers, the latter famously performed by Tom Hanks and John Lovitz. His comedic touch didn't go unnoticed. In 1989, Conan and his fellow writers won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing for a Variety Series. During the 1987-88 writers' strike, Conan's creativity didn't take a back seat. He teamed up with fellow SNL writers Bob Odenkirk and Robert Smigel to produce an improvisational comedy revue in Chicago called Happy, Happy, Good Show. During this time, he also briefly shared an apartment near Wrigley Field with comedian Jeff Garlin, an era of camaraderie and exploration for the rising star. Conan occasionally appeared on screen during his SNL tenure, including a memorable cameo as a doorman in the iconic Five Timers Club sketch featuring Tom Hanks in 1990. He also collaborated with Robert Smigel to write Look Well, a television pilot starring Adam West. Although the 1991 pilot, backed by NBC president Brandon Tartikoff, never went to series, it gained a cult following, later being celebrated at the Other Network Festival and rerun on Trio Network in 2002. Despite his successes, the early 90s were a period of upheaval for Conan. Following the cancellation of Look Well and the end of a personal engagement, he left SNL in 1991, citing burnout. "I told Lorne Michaels I couldn't come back to work and I just needed to do something else," Conan recalled. With no concrete plans, he spent his days wandering New York City, seeking inspiration. This transitional phase ultimately set the stage for the next chapter of his career. Years later, Conan would return to SNL as host in 2001 and make a nostalgic cameo in 2022. Cementing his enduring connection to the show that helped define his early career. In a pivotal career moment, Conan O'Brien received a call from Mike Rice and Al Jean, showrunners of The Simpsons, offering him a writing position on the groundbreaking animated series. At the time, The Simpsons was the crown jewel of TV writing, with a reputation for rarely hiring new talent. Conan later recalled, "Everyone wanted to be on that show, but they never hired." His hire was a rarity, marking him as one of the first fresh faces to join the original team. Settling into Los Angeles, Conan purchased a Beverly Hills apartment with the help of his friend, actress Lisa Kudrow. The two even became romantically involved, though they disagreed on Conan's path. Kudrow encouraged him to perform, but Conan insisted he was content writing. In a 2000 Harvard Class Day speech, Conan credited The Simpsons with saving him during what he described as a career slump. From 1991 to 1993, Conan thrived as a writer and producer on The Simpsons. Nervous at first, he felt out of place among the team of talented and intimidating writers. He even pitched characters in their voices, mistakenly thinking this was standard practice, until Rice pointed out that it wasn't. Nevertheless, Conan's energy and humor quickly made him a standout. Writer Josh Weinstein described his presence as a 10-hour Conan show, non-stop, and his peers considered him a natural candidate to become a future showrunner. During his tenure, Conan penned some of The Simpsons' most iconic episodes, including Marge vs. the Monorail and Homer Goes to College. These episodes signaled a shift in the show's tone, introducing a more surreal and absurdist humor. Conan also wrote memorable episodes like New Kid on the Block and Treehouse of Horror 4, the latter featuring his wraparound segments. His antics in the writer's room became legendary, including a bit as the nervous writer, where he'd nervously pitch jokes while spraying Diet Coke all over himself, to the endless amusement of his colleagues. While still at The Simpsons, Conan worked on side projects, including a script for a musical film based on SNL's Hans and Franz sketch with Robert Smigel, though the film was never produced. Meanwhile, the entertainment world was shifting. David Letterman was leaving late night, and Lorne Michaels was scouting for a replacement. Initially approached to produce the show, Conan's agent, Gavin Polone, pushed for him to audition as a performer. During a test audition on The Tonight Show stage, Conan hosted Jason Alexander and Mimi Rogers in front of an audience of Simpsons writers. Though his humor was described as awkward by some media commentators, his unique charm caught Michaels' attention. On April 26, 1993, Conan O'Brien was officially announced as the new host of Late Night. He received the life-changing news during a voice recording session for his Simpsons episode, Homer Goes to College. As post-production supervisor Michael Mendel recalled, "He was passed out face down into this horrible shag carpet. I looked at him and thought, wow, your life is about to change." However, Conan's transition wasn't seamless. Fox initially refused to release him from his contract, forcing NBC and Conan to split the buyout costs. In pre-production for Late Night, Robert Smigel suggested bringing in Andy Richter as Conan's sidekick, a decision that became a defining feature of the show. After Conan's departure from The Simpsons, his former colleagues would gather at lunch to watch tapes of Late Night, dissecting and enjoying the work of their former writer-turned-host. Late Night with Conan O'Brien debuted on September 13, 1993, broadcasting from Studio 6A at 30 Rockefeller Plaza in New York City. However, the premiere was met with harsh criticism. Critics found Conan nervous and fidgety on camera, branding him too smart, too East Coast, too young, and even too tall to succeed in late-night TV. The Washington Post's Tom Shales went as far as suggesting O'Brien revert to Conan Oblivion. Conan, ever self-aware, leaned into the skepticism by penning a self-deprecating New York Times piece titled "O'Brien Flops" on the very day of the premiere. The early days of the show were rocky. NBC executives were wary, placing the show on the chopping block and even threatening a week-to-week contract in 1994. They considered replacing Conan with Greg Keener, whose show later followed, Late Night. The network filled audience seats with interns, and rumors swirled about the show's cancellation. Conan and his sidekick Andy Richter often referenced the uncertainty through sharp, in-joke Humor. Richter quipped after one hiatus. I sat back and reminded myself what it's like to be unemployed. Despite its shaky start, late night gradually found its voice and audience. Sketches like If They Mated, Desk Drive, and In the Year 2000 gained traction. A recurring bit involved Robert Smigel voicing news figures on a TV screen behind Conan's desk, such as a rowdy, exaggerated Bill Clinton. A major morale boost came when David Letterman, the original king of the 12:30 slot, appeared on the show in February 1994, calling it smart and funny. Conan later reflected, "If the guy who created the 12:30 thing comes on and says we're good, let's go." The show evolved, blending absurd humor with polished, narrative-driven segments. One standout was Conan's remote piece visiting a Civil War-era baseball league, which he declared a personal favorite. "When I leave this earth, just show this at my funeral. It says everything about me." By the mid-1990s, Conan had turned skeptics into fans. Even Tom Shales reversed course, calling the show one of the most amazing transformations in television history. By catering to a young male demographic, late night grew its ratings and overtook competitors. Fans in the burgeoning days of the internet created detailed episode archives, cementing the show's cult following. From 1996 onward, Late Night was nominated annually for the Emmy for Best Writing in a Comedy or Variety Series, winning in 2007. It also won multiple Writers Guild Awards for Best Writing, with victories in 1997, 2000, 2002, 2003, and 2004. In 2001, Conan formed his production company, Conoco, which joined the show's production credits. That same year, he hosted Saturday Night Live, coming full circle to the platform where his career had taken off. Over 15 seasons, Conan transformed late night from a near flop into a late-night institution, blending offbeat humor and sharp wit into one of television's most enduring success stories. By October 2005, Late Night with Conan O'Brien had firmly established itself as a late-night staple, consistently drawing an audience of 2.5 million viewers for over a decade. In 2006, Conan's signature blend of humor and cultural curiosity sparked a uniquely memorable moment when he leaned into his uncanny resemblance to Finnish President Tarja Halonen. As Finland prepared for its presidential election, Late Night aired satirical political ads endorsing Halonen and poking fun at her opponent, Sauli Niinisto. The campaign became a sensation in Finland, influencing public perception and adding an unexpected comedic twist to the race, which Halonen ultimately won. Not content with merely lampooning the election from afar, Conan took the show to Helsinki shortly after Halonen's victory. Over 5 days, Late Night was embraced as a national treasure, with Conan meeting President Halonen at the Finnish presidential palace. The visit was later aired as a special one-hour episode, cementing the show's international appeal and Conan's knack for blending absurdity with heartfelt cultural engagement. Leave a comment with the number 9 if you are interested in this show. During the 2007 to 2008 Writers Guild of America strike, Conan found a creative outlet in a mock feud with Jon Stewart, The Daily Show, and Stephen Colbert, The Colbert Report. The tongue-in-cheek battle centered on who deserved credit for giving Mike Huckabee's Republican presidential campaign a bump in popularity. The playful rivalry crossed over all 3 shows, offering audiences much-needed laughter during a challenging time for television. On February 20th, 2009, Late Night with Conan O'Brien aired its final episode, marking the end of a 16-year run. The farewell was both celebratory and nostalgic, featuring appearances by Andy Richter, Will Ferrell, John Mayer, and The White Stripes. True to form, Conan ended the show in unforgettable fashion, destroying the set with an axe and handing out pieces to the audience as keepsakes. He capped off the episode with heartfelt thanks to the people who had shaped his journey, including Lorne Michaels, David Letterman, Jay Leno, and his wife and children. Years later, in 2019, Conan's late-night legacy found a new audience as iconic clips from the show began appearing on the Team Coco YouTube channel and TBS website. These highlights allowed fans, old and new, to relive the moments that defined Conan's irreverent, innovative, and undeniably influential late-night tenure. In 2004, NBC secured Conan O'Brien's future with a landmark deal. He would succeed Jay Leno as the host of The Tonight Show in 2009. This opportunity wasn't just another career move, it was a lifelong dream for Conan. The promise of helming late night's most iconic desk was enough to keep him loyal to NBC, despite potentially more lucrative offers from other networks. As part of the transition, Leno shifted to a primetime slot with The Jay Leno Show, creating a much-anticipated handover in late-night history. Conan officially stepped into his dream role on June 1, 2009, with Will Ferrell as his first guest and Pearl Jam as the musical act. His Tonight Show run quickly gained its own quirks and charm. One such moment came during a Twitter tracker sketch in Conan's second episode, where the nickname Coco was born. Guest Tom Hanks embraced the moniker, leading the audience in a chant and sparking Conan's humorous response. "If that catches on, I'll sue you." Of course, Coco stuck, becoming a playful symbol of Conan's time on the show. However, not all moments were smooth. On September 25, 2009, during a comedy sketch with Terry Hatcher, Conan slipped and hit his head, resulting in a mild concussion. Ever the performer, he returned to work the following Monday, using the mishap as comedic fodder while his audience cheered his resilience. Despite these highlights, challenges emerged. By November 2009, The Tonight Show under Conan experienced a significant ratings drop, losing around 2 million viewers compared to Leno's tenure. In January 2010, NBC executives, including Jeff Zucker, met with both hosts to address a prime-time ratings slump. The solution? A controversial proposal. Leno would return to late night with a 30-minute show at 11:35 p.m., bumping The Tonight Show to 12:05 a.m., a move that would disrupt its traditional time slot. The plan was officially confirmed by NBC Universal Television Entertainment Chairman Jeff Gaspin, with changes set to take place after the 2010 Winter Olympics. What began as a career-defining moment for Conan was rapidly turning into a late-night controversy that would captivate the entertainment world. The fallout from NBC's plan to shift The Tonight Show to 12:05 a.m. left Conan O'Brien deeply unhappy and disappointed. On January 12, 2010, he released a statement that captured his frustration and sense of duty to the show's legacy. "I sincerely believe that delaying The Tonight Show into the next day to accommodate another comedy program will seriously damage what I consider to be the greatest franchise in the history of broadcasting. The Tonight Show at 12:05 simply isn't The Tonight Show." Negotiations soon followed, and on January 21st, Conan and NBC reached an agreement. Conan would leave The Tonight Show the very next day, securing a $45 million exit package. True to his character, Conan ensured $12 million of that amount went directly to his loyal staff, many of whom had relocated from New York to Los Angeles when he transitioned from late night. Conan's final episode of The Tonight Show, airing January 22, 2010, was a bittersweet farewell packed with humor and heartfelt moments. The guest lineup included Tom Hanks, Steve Carell, who memorably shredded Conan's NBC ID badge during a faux exit interview, and Neil Young, who performed Long May You Run. Will Ferrell capped the show with a spirited rendition of Freebird, joined by Conan himself on guitar, alongside Vivica Pauline, Ferrell's wife, Ben Harper, Beck, and Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. The episode was a celebration of Conan's time on the show and a defiant reminder of his unique comedic voice. Following the 2010 Winter Olympics, Jay Leno returned to The Tonight Show. Meanwhile, Conan's $45 million settlement allowed him to begin working elsewhere as early as September 2010. Speculation swirled about his next move. with rumored destinations ranging from Fox to Comedy Central, and interest reportedly coming from networks like TNT, HBO, Showtime, FX, and even NBC's own USA Network. As the industry buzzed with possibilities, one thing was clear: Conan's journey in late-night television was far from over. In February 2010, Conan O'Brien made headlines for listing his luxurious Central Park West penthouse for $35 million, a property he had purchased in 2007 for $10 million. 2 years earlier, he had also invested in a $10.5 million home in Brentwood, Los Angeles. Industry insiders speculated that Conan's decision to stay on the West Coast was influenced by his desire to facilitate a return to late-night television and avoid uprooting his children again after the tumultuous Tonight Show experience. That same year, Conan's influence was undeniable. He was named to the Time 100, a list of the world's most influential people. However, he was prohibited from appearing on television until May 2010 due to the terms of his exit from NBC. When he finally broke his silence, it was on CBS's 60 Minutes in a candid interview with Steve Kroft on May 2nd. Conan likened the Tonight Show conflict to a marriage breaking up, suddenly, violently, quickly, expressing disappointment that NBC hadn't given him more time. Reflecting on the situation, he admitted that if he were in Jay Leno's position, he wouldn't have returned to the show. Despite the turmoil, Conan was optimistic, saying, "I'm fine. I'm doing great. I hope people still find me comedically absurd and ridiculous, and I don't regret anything." Eager to reconnect with his audience, Conan announced a 30-city live comedy tour via Twitter on March 11, 2010, humorously titled the Legally Prohibited from Being Funny on Television Tour. The tour kicked off on April 12th in Eugene, Oregon, with co-host Andy Richter and members of his former Tonight Show band. Notably absent was bandleader Max Weinberg, who made a guest appearance during Conan's New York City shows. The tour traveled through the Pacific Northwest and Canada before hitting major cities like Los Angeles and New York, where Conan performed at Radio City Music Hall near his former late-night studio. The journey wrapped up on June 14th in Atlanta. Conan's tour was later chronicled in the 2011 documentary Conan O'Brien Can't Stop, directed by his Harvard classmate and friend Rodman Flender. Premiering at the South by Southwest Festival to positive reviews, the film offered an intimate look at Conan's resilience, creativity, and comedic brilliance during one of the most challenging chapters of his career. On the same day Conan O'Brien launched his live comedy tour, he announced his return to television with a new late-night show on TBS. Conan premiered on November 8, 2010, airing Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Central Time. His arrival shifted Lopez Tonight, hosted by George Lopez, back an hour, a move Conan initially resisted to avoid repeating what had happened to him at NBC. However, Lopez himself personally called and persuaded Conan to join TBS, sealing the deal. Conan's tenure on TBS wasn't confined to the studio. In February 2015, amid the Cuban thaw, Conan became the first American television personality in over 50 years to film in Cuba, marking a groundbreaking moment in entertainment. He continued this globe-trotting trend with a visit to Armenia, accompanied by his Armenian-American assistant, Sonam Movsesian. During the trip, Conan even guest-starred as a gangster on an Armenian soap opera. In April 2016, he responded to a fan letter from South Korea and visited the country, where he explored the demilitarized zone. In a symbolic and humorous twist, Conan and actor Steven Yeun stepped across the border into North Korea, highlighting the moment with Conan's remark, "The idea that you and I could be in North Korea talking and communicating freely seems like kind of a cool message." These international segments, branded as Conan Without Borders, became a fan-favorite series, with Conan eventually visiting 13 countries. The series won an Emmy in 2018, further cementing its success. The episodes gained additional life on streaming platforms, first appearing on Netflix before moving to HBO Max. TBS extended Conan multiple times, through 2018 and then 2022. In 2019, the show transitioned to a half-hour format without a live band, reflecting Conan's evolving, comedic style. That same year, he embarked on another national comedy tour during a 3-month hiatus. In November 2020, TBS announced that Conan would conclude in June 2021. The final episode aired on June 24th, marking the end of Conan's extraordinary 28-year run as a late-night host. The finale included a live audience and heartfelt appearances by Will Ferrell and Jack Black, as well as a cameo from Homer Simpson, a nod to Conan's Simpsons legacy. Looking ahead, Conan revealed plans to shift gears with a weekly variety show on HBO Max, focusing on his travel series and podcast with a more relaxed schedule. His farewell was a celebration of comedy, creativity, and a career that left an indelible mark on late-night television. In 2018, Conan O'Brien expanded his comedic empire with the launch of his weekly podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, created in partnership with Team Coco and Earwolf. The podcast debuted on November 18, 2018, with Will Ferrell as its first guest. True to Conan's self-deprecating humor, the title is tongue-in-cheek, exploring whether his celebrity guests might genuinely want to be his friends. Joining him on every episode are his witty assistant, Sona Movsesian, and the show's producer, Matt Gorley. The podcast has featured an impressive lineup of guests, including Barack and Michelle Obama, Stephen Colbert, and Bob Newhart, and quickly became a runaway hit. Garnering rave reviews and topping iTunes charts, the podcast has won multiple awards. By August 2021, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend had surpassed 250 million downloads and was averaging over 9 million downloads per month. Conan continued to make memorable appearances outside the podcast realm. On February 26, 2022, he delighted audiences with a cameo on Saturday Night Live, inducting John Mulaney into the iconic Five Timers Club alongside Tina Fey, Steve Martin, and others. In May 2022, Team Coco's digital media empire, including the podcast, was acquired by SiriusXM for an impressive $150 million. The deal also encompassed other popular Team Coco podcasts, such as Inside Conan and Parks and Recollection, along with plans for a dedicated comedy channel on SiriusXM. In 2024, Conan returned to television in a new international travel series, Conan O'Brien Must Go, released on HBO's Max. The 4-episode series, premiering on April 18th, showcased Conan's adventures in Norway, Argentina, Thailand, and Ireland, where he met fans featured in his podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Fan. The series received critical acclaim for its humor and heartfelt moments, and was quickly renewed for a 6-episode second season in May 2024. To promote the series, Conan appeared on Hot Ones, where he tackled increasingly spicy chicken wings with his trademark comedic flair. His performance earned widespread praise, further solidifying his status as a comedic icon. In January 2025, it was announced that Conan O'Brien would receive the prestigious Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, a recognition of his profound impact on comedy. The award ceremony is set to take place on March 23, 2025, at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C., celebrating a career that has left an indelible mark on entertainment and laughter worldwide. Conan O'Brien's creative reach extends beyond hosting, with a notable history in television production. In 2007, he co-wrote and served as executive producer for the NBC adventure comedy series Andy Barker, P.I., starring his longtime sidekick, Andy Richter. Despite receiving critical acclaim and being named one of Entertainment Weekly's top 10 shows of 2007, the series was canceled after just 6 episodes due to low ratings. Undeterred, Conan's production company, Conaco, developed several other projects, including Operating Instructions, a medical-themed pilot ordered by USA Network. In 2010, NBC ordered 2 pilots from Conaco, the 1-hour courtroom drama Outlaw and a half-hour comedy. Outlaw ran for 8 episodes, premiering on September 15, 2010, further showcasing Conan's versatility as a producer. Conan's unmistakable humor and voice have made him a popular choice for animated appearances. His first foray into voice acting came early in his late-night career, playing himself in the Simpsons Season 5 episode Bart Gets Famous, where he interviews Bart during his brief stint as a catchphrase comedian. He later appeared on Futurama in the episode Xmas Story, portraying himself as a head in a jar, still alive in the year 3000. Conan's voice talents have graced several projects on Adult Swim's Robot Chicken, including the popular Robot Chicken, Star Wars specials. Other notable roles include voicing Robert Todd Lincoln in Sarah Vowell's audiobook Assassination Vacation, and playing talk show host Dave Endocrine in Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, Part 2, a DC Universe animated original movie. Conan O'Brien has made memorable cameo appearances across several hit shows, often playing a humorous version of himself. On 30 Rock, he is portrayed as Liz Lemon's awkward ex-boyfriend who works in the same building. In the episode Tracy Does Conan, Conan reluctantly hosts Tracy Jordan on late night after being pressured by network executive Jack Donaghy, despite Tracy's past antics involving an on-set altercation. Conan also made a brief but amusing cameo in the US version of The Office. In the episode Valentine's Day, Michael Scott mistakes a stranger for Tina Fey, while Conan walks through the scene, leaving the camera crew to inform Michael of the real celebrity he missed. With his distinctive comedic voice and ability to connect with audiences across platforms, Conan has left an indelible mark on both television and live events. Leave a comment with the number 1 if you agree with our opinion. Conan O'Brien met his future wife, Elizabeth Ann Liza Powell, in 2000 when she appeared in a Late Night with Conan O'Brien skit as a senior copywriter for Foot, Cone, and Belding. The sketch involved crafting a better TV commercial for Hilton Furniture, a Houston store where Conan's show aired at the odd hour of 2:40 a.m. After dating for nearly 18 months, the couple married in 2002 in Liza's hometown of Seattle. Together, they have 2 children, a daughter, Neve, born 2003, and a son, Beckett, born 2005. If you like their love story, please drop a flower emoji in the comment. Conan often speaks with pride about his Irish Catholic heritage. In a 2009 episode of Inside the Actor's Studio, he revealed that his ancestors immigrated to the US from Ireland in the 1850s and exclusively married within the Irish Catholic community, making his lineage 100% Irish Catholic. This unique heritage was confirmed by a DNA test, which he humorously shared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, joking that his pure Irish ancestry even surprised his doctor. Politically, Conan has been a registered Democrat since casting his first presidential vote for Walter Mondale in 1984, but he considers himself a moderate. Beyond entertainment, he has demonstrated a deep commitment to philanthropy. He co-founded the anti-hunger organization Labels Are for Jars with Father Paul B. O'Brien, a former Harvard roommate, and helped open the Cor Unum Meal Center in Lawrence, Massachusetts in 2006. Not all personal stories have been lighthearted. Beginning in 2006, Conan endured a stalking incident involving Father David Agemian of the Archdiocese of Boston, who sent threatening letters and attempted to enter a taping of Late Night forcefully. Arrested in 2007, Agemian later pleaded guilty to stalking in 2008 and was laicized. Despite his high-profile career, Conan has made it a point to keep his kids out of the spotlight. He has 2 children, Neve O'Brien and Beckett O'Brien. Both of them are private individuals who steer clear of the media, focusing solely on their academic pursuits. Following in their father's footsteps of hard work, both Neve and Beckett are diligent students. Neve is currently studying at Yale University, while Beckett has followed in his father's footsteps by enrolling at Harvard. Conan shared, "I don't take my children to premieres. I don't want my kids living in a zero-gravity environment just because I happen to get lucky." In preparation for his move to Los Angeles to host The Tonight Show, Conan purchased a $10.5 million Brentwood mansion in 2009, bringing along his iconic 1992 Ford Taurus SHO as part of a recurring gag. In 2016, he purchased an oceanfront home in Carpinteria, California, which he listed for $16.5 million in 2022. If you enjoyed it, drop MVP in the comments to let me know you made it to the end. Conan redefined the art of comedy, turning moments of uncertainty into opportunities for reinvention. Whether making audiences laugh with absurd sketches or connecting with fans worldwide, Conan's legacy is a testament to the power of resilience, creativity, and a relentless pursuit of joy. As he continues to explore new horizons, his influence on comedy and entertainment remains as vibrant as ever, ensuring his place as a true icon in the world of laughter and storytelling. Thank you for watching our channel. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. See you next time, and have a great day.